Morning, Gracie.
Morning, Tom.
Boy, is it good to have the Dead Dog Cafe open again.
Did you miss us?
I'll say. You ever eat breakfast at that truck stop?
You ate breakfast at the truck stop.
Gracie, the renovations took forever. You were closed for over 3 months.
So?
Well, so I had to eat somewhere.
You ever hear of feeding yourself?
Morning, Tom.
Morning, Jasper.
Boy, is it good to have the Dead Dog Cafe open again.
It sure is.
So, Nistas, what did you miss most? Was it the scrumptious food or the scintillating conversations and verbal repartee?
He's been sneaking off when we weren't looking and eating breakfast at the truck stop.
No.
They probably gave him free refills on his coffee.
Well, as a matter of fact, they did.
Oh.
But it was nowhere near as good as the coffee you make, Gracie.
And I suppose you want a cup.
I'd love a cup.
Who's paying?
Don't look at me. I didn't eat at the truck stop.
Oh, all right.
Did you tell Tom about the architect?
Not yet. I thought I'd wait and surprise him.
You hired an architect?
Douglas Cardinal.
Douglas Cardinal?
I told you Tom wouldn't know him.
That's because there are so many cardinals in Canada.
Jasper, I know who Douglas Cardinal is. He's probably the most prominent native architect in the world.
It's a fairly common Indian name, Tom. Sort of like Smith.
Look, Douglas Cardinal designed the Canadian Museum of Civilization in Ottawa.
There's Lorne Cardinal and Joan Cardinal Schubert and Ben Cardinal.
Don't forget the new Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C.
Tom Cardinal, Dick Cardinal, Harold Cardinal.
So what do you think of the renovations?
Be frank, Tom. Gracie can take it.
Well, frankly, I don't see where anything has changed. I mean, the place looks exactly the same.
We sent Douglas Cardinal a photograph of the cafe.
He said he wasn't sure there was a way to improve it.
Unless we want to tear it down and start again.
But he said we could call him any time and bounce some ideas around.
Here's his number.
Where'd you get Douglas Cardinal's phone number?
I got it from the phone book.
Well, you just can't call up someone like Douglas Cardinal. I mean, the man's famous. He's not going to want to just talk to us.
Hello?
Hello, Douglas Cardinal?
Speaking.
This is Jasper Friendlybear. I just want to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Yeah, so what did you think of our cafe, our photograph?
I didn't get a photograph.
Why? Did it get lost in the mail or?
It may have been the mail, but
I was actually wanting to ask you if you could make my table and chairs with animal shapes in my cafe, and possibly a screeching eagle right across my floor. Is that possible, I wonder?
a screeching eagle.
Sort of inlaid in wood, is that what you mean,
inlaid
Gracie?
in wood,
okay,
yes.
Yeah.
Like integrating with the natural environment? Like, it's what you do, right? In your work?
Well, actually, I'm more of an accountant than anything else.
Yeah, right. You're a comedian also.
Well, I guess that's part of architecture, having to keep track of the bills and.
Oh yeah, budget. That's a very valuable skill, I guess, eh?
Oh yeah. I've done a lot of architecture firms. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of numbers thrown around there, but I think you've.
So, do you think your biggest job was the design you did for the new American Indian Art Museum in Washington, D.C., or was it for the Museum of Civilization in Ottawa?
Well, actually, it was Carlton Construction down in Winnipeg, but,
we haven't seen that one, have we?
No, we haven't.
Nope. I've seen the one in the church in Red Deer.
Well, this is really nice for you to take the time to talk with us about, Gracie's wanting to renovate the cafe.
I'm not sure if you've got the right Douglas Cardinal.
Well, there's only one. Don't be modest.
Yeah.
This is the Douglas Cardinal.
Yeah. We your stuff is in books. Gosh.
Okay. Well,
thanks for the suggestions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Doug.
We'll see
Sure.
you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Boy, that was great talking with Douglas Cardinal.
Jasper, are you sure that was Douglas Cardinal?
You can take it to the bank.
Yeah, but hey, speaking of banks, what happened to the bank here at the cafe?
What bank?
What do you mean, what bank? Before you closed the cafe for renovations, you had turned the place into the Canadian Indian Bank of Canada. You passed out credit cards. You were charging fees and everything. You even installed a mail slot in the door and called it an automated deposit machine. And, wait a minute, I put $50 in that slot.
But now that everyone is back and the cafe is open, it's time to start the show.
And I never got it back.
Good God, take it away, Tom.
Well, all right, but look, I want to talk about that $50 later.
You bet.
Automated deposit machine, yeah, right. From Blossom, Alberta, it's the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour with your host, Jasper Friendly Bear.
And Gracie Heavy Hand.
And Tom King.
So, Tom, who are our guests?
Douglas Cardinal.
Douglas,
Hans, the way Mawana.
Nista. That's a good idea, Tom. Do you have his number?
We just talked to him.
We could always try him on the internet.
No, we can't. In order to use the internet, we would have to have a computer.
So?
So we don't have a computer.
We do now.
A computer?
Boy, nothing much gets past Tom.
Where did you get a computer?
Billy Jumping Bull's used clothing emporium.
Billy doesn't sell computers.
He's diversifying.
He threw in a couple of games.
There's just one problem.
What's that?
We don't know how to turn it on.
Well, it couldn't be that hard. I mean, my oldest son is a computer network administrator.
Great! And while Tom's setting up the computer, Gracie and I...
Wait a minute. My son knows about computers, but I don't know a thing about them.
In the meantime, it's high time for another of Gracie Heavy Hand's Reserve Recipes. Authentic Aboriginal food from the reserve to your kitchen. So, Gracie, what pungent potpourri do you have for us today?
Well, today I thought I'd share some thoughts on a meal that is near and dear to the heart of every Canadian and is a special favorite of Aboriginal people.
Do you have a recipe for beer?
No, craft dinner.
That was going to be my next guess.
Did you know that according to Statistics Canada, Canadians eat more craft dinner than any other nation in the world?
I didn't know that.
Now, as with any successful and beloved icon, there are always detractors. People who complain about it just because it's popular.
Like Barry Manilow and the Spice Girls.
One of the most frequent complaints is that craft dinner has little or no nutrient value.
I love the bright color and the way the cheese goes all rubbery when you heat it up.
This little understood feature is what makes craft dinner the perfect base for a meal.
So, what makes craft dinner so versatile is that you can put anything in it.
Vegetarians can mix in roasted peppers or fresh snow peas. Meat lovers can slice up hot dogs.
Don't forget mayonnaise and real margarine with swirls of ketchup.
Or you can do what Aboriginal people do and mix it with a little elk or fried chunks of bologna.
Wow, the combinations are endless.
So, if nutrition is what you're after, you can add all you want after you've cooked the noodles and stirred in the powdered cheese. Or, if taste is your main concern, you can eat it plain.
Thanks, Gracie. How's Tom coming with that computer?
His hair is standing on end, but other than that, he looks fine.
Is it working yet?
Well, I've got it turned on.
Way to go.
But I haven't a clue as to how it works.
Have you tried pushing all the keys at least once?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I really like the color of the screen.
Keep working, Tom. But now it's time to give away an authentic Indian name. Who do we have today, Gracie?
Here's a letter from John Brozak. He works at a bookstore in Vancouver.
Oh, I love bookstores. Whenever I'm feeling constipated, I go into a bookstore and it loosens me right up.
Same here.
What about you, Tom?
What do you mean?
Whenever Gracie and I are feeling constipated, we go down to our nearest bookstore, and after breathing the air for about 10 minutes, we have to head to the bathroom.
Well, you know, that's true. It happens to me all the time.
Number 1 or number 2?
Jasper.
You can tell me.
Jasper.
If you're embarrassed, you can whisper in my ear.
Jasper, don't we have to give away an authentic Indian name or something?
Did Mr. Brozak send us his most interesting encounter with an Indian?
Yes, he did. He says he was hitchhiking on a reserve in Arizona when he was stopped by tribal policemen and told he should cut his hair out of respect for being on an Indian reservation.
Boy, I don't know how many hippies I got to that one.
You mean you weren't supposed to cut your hair if you were on an Indian reserve?
Tom, don't tell me that.
Shouldn't we be spinning the wheels?
Right you are, Tom. Okay, the first name is Granville.
The second name is Sober.
And the third name is Goose?
Okay, John Brozak in Vancouver, your authentic Indian name is Granville Sober Goose.
You know, Tom, you better hurry up and let us spin those wheels for you before we run out of really good names.
Doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Hey, Tom, you hear that?
It's not. It's not fireside-friendly, Bear, is it?
You look a little pale, Tom.
He's just worried about getting blown up against the wall when he opens the door.
Don't worry, Tom. We don't have to do fireside-friendly, Bear, anymore.
We don't?
Nope.
But I thought we were going to read the entire report of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal People.
Tom, it's all been settled.
What do you mean?
The government apologized, Tom, in January. Don't you watch television?
You mean the apology that Indian Affairs Minister Jane Stewart read on national television?
So, you do watch television?
Of course I watch television, but that apology didn't settle anything.
It made me feel better. How about you, Gracie?
I've heard those promises before. I'll believe it when I see some real action.
And it was all because of fireside-friendly, Bear.
What?
Think about it, Tom. The report of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal People came out in 1996, and the government didn't do a thing about it until I began reading the report on the radio. Post hoc ergo propter hoc.
Jasper, do you remember what I told you about post hoc ergo propter hoc?
You said it was a logical fallacy.
That's right.
Jasper doesn't know what a fallacy is.
Sure I do. It's a little phallus.
Look, the apology was nice, but the real problems like treaty rights and land claims and sovereignty still haven't been addressed.
Maybe we stopped reading too soon.
Cue the fire!
Quick, Tom, open the door.
No way.
Here, I'll open it for you.
Whoa, 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 whoa! All right. It's time for Fireside Friendly Bear, where I sit around a blazing fire in a log cabin on a snowy evening and read a selection from a great Canadian literary work. So sit back and relax. Clear your mind and pretend for a moment that you're better off than you really are.
What part are you going to read today?
Since the government has already apologized, I thought that rather than read the entire report, we could read some of the Commission's recommendations.
That's a good idea.
You know, if this works, I might try reading the Charter of Rights and Freedoms next.
Take it away, Friendly Bear.
Recommendation 2.4.2. The Commission recommends that federal, provincial, and territorial governments, through negotiation, provide Aboriginal nations with lands that are sufficient in size and quality to foster Aboriginal economic self-reliance and cultural and political autonomy.
I think that calls for a cup of coffee.
Get up, Tom. Gracie's giving away free coffee.
It's not free, Friendly Bear.
Never mind, Tom. You can stay on the floor.
That is the last time I'm opening the door.
You didn't open the door, Tom. Gracie did.
Oh.
Hey, Tom, you hear that?
Blackout bingo?
Blackout bingo. Okay, bingo lovers. Break out your cards and check them.
Wait a minute. Jasper, look, could you do me a favor?
Sure, Tom.
He doesn't want you to call B8.
You don't?
No, I don't. Look, every time we play Blackout Bingo, you call B8. You have never called another number.
You think I should call another number?
Well, yes. Yes, I think you should call another number.
Okay.
You will?
Sure. Okay, the number for today is... Free Square.
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper.
Yes?
Jasper, you don't have to call the Free Square.
That sounds like the end of the show.
Boy, we just got that in on time.
It's free. That's why they call it the Free Square.
In the meantime, this is Jasper Friendly Bear.
And Gracie Heavy Hand.
And Tom King saying,
So long for now. And don't forget, stay calm.
Be brave.
Wait for the signs. You know, Gracie, I sort of miss the bank.
Me too. It was fun being rich and heartless.
Speaking of the bank, where's my $50?
Gone?
What?
The service charges ate it up.
What service charges?
For looking after your money.
Actually, you owe us $12.50.
No, I don't.
Yes, you